What you need in the building, what's happening, people. And I don't know if you guys saw the notice, but I got the privilege on this channel to interview um, pro boxer from the Las Vegas area, Lionell Thompson. Um, we're talking today. I saw him on the Boxing Voice as well. Nestor Gibbs and Danny were interviewing him, and just happened to see him online on Facebook, one of the Facebook groups. And so hopefully on this stream we'll be able to get him as a guest on here, and we'll chop it up concerning his career. We go through his career with you guys, as well as since he was campaigning at the light heavyweight division. We'll talk a little bit about the light heavyweight division, particularly the recent fights that happened in that division with Bitter BF and Joe Smith Jr. over the weekend, as well as we'll also chop it up a little bit with him concerning the 168-pound division, because he'd be moving down to the 168-pound division. And what I could do in the is sort of warm up the atmosphere before he comes in here as a guest. So even though I haven't seen any viewers as yet come through, I notified you guys on YouTube, my subscribers. So hopefully you guys got that notice. We were supposed to start at 8 o'clock. We're starting now at 8:14, so we're a little bit behind the time. I don't know what he's doing with his time. Hopefully we get him on here as a guest. Everything's kind of happened a couple hours ago, so tried to prepare everything to get this set up. So we'll see what happens. Let me talk a little bit about Lionell Thompson a bit as an introduction. He's an excellent boxer. Actually campaigns at the campaigning, sorry, at the 175-pound division. Has been a career 175 pounder, but he's moving down to the 168-pound division, which is more his size and weight class. He's something like Dimitri Bivol. Dimitri Bivol campaigns at 175, but really he's a 168 pounder. Well, Lionell Thompson's really a 168 pounder. He's 5'11" with a, I believe it is a, uh, I believe it's a 75-inch reach. That's at least what I saw on BoxRec. And I want to talk a little bit about his career, and let him talk a little bit more about his career. Let him express his views on several things that we hope to talk about. So hopefully we can talk about his career. We can talk about Bitter BF versus Joe Smith Jr., his take on it, as well as what he thinks is the future for the winner of Bitter BF versus Smith Jr. You know, and of course his career. What is his future at 168 pounds? You know, how is he going to get himself in position to work towards getting his name further known out there, because he is a veteran of the sport, and it's nice to hear a veteran of the sport talk about various things in the boxing journey. For those of you interested in boxing and continuing your career in boxing, this will be sort of interesting for you, as well as it'll be interesting for the fans out there. And Lionell Thompson to me is like a best kept secret. He's been on the Mayweather Boxing Channel. He's been an outspoken person on the Mayweather Boxing Channel, but he also got a lot of skill, man. The man is skilled. And for those of you who don't follow boxing, in 2019, he got a unanimous decision win over Jose Uzcategui. And Uzcategui was actually the opponent of Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant actually won the championship from Jose Uzcategui, who won the championship from Andre Dirrell. Andre Dirrell, when he was at 168, actually Andre Dirrell became the IBF 168-pound or super middleweight champion of the world, because Uzcategui was disqualified, I believe, for hitting Dirrell. He was disqualified anyway for hitting Dirrell. I can't remember what exactly happened, but and so Uzcategui got a rematch with Dirrell. He was beating up Dirrell actually at that time. But anyway, it is what it is. I think it was a foul or something, and he was disqualified. But he was able to rematch Darrell, and again, he put a beating on Darrell. And so Uskategi, who's like 6'1", I think it is, with like a 72-inch reach, um, he ended up becoming champion. I believe he had a defense, and I think he faced Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant beat him, and so Caleb Plant became the IBF champion, as we all know. Caleb Plant, after a couple of defenses, faced Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez beat Caleb Plant. So that same Uskategi, he ended up facing Lionell Thompson. Okay, and Lionell Thompson outboxed him and also dropped him in the fight, amazingly. So I do believe Caleb Plant also dropped Uskategi in the fight with him. So this was the second person to drop Uskategi in his career, and Lionell Thompson, in many respects, did a better job on Uskategi than Caleb Plant did. Of course, Uskategi wasn't the champion at that time, and you know your mentality and everything, but still, is quite a win. And that was the last win Lionell Thompson had, and he hasn't fought since 2019, December of 2019, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll talk a little bit more about his career, about the ups, the downs. We'll talk about what his future would be like, what he intends to do. Um, we also, hopefully, we'll be talking a little bit more about. Um, we'll also be talking about a little bit about just some general boxing in the weight classes of 168 and 175. So we'll be talking about a little bit about, Canelo Alvarez's win over Caleb Plant, for example. David Benavidez's recent win over David Lemieux. Because we'll be talking about basically the divisions that he is involved in or has been involved in. So anything that had to do with 175, anything that has to do with 168, that's what we will be talking about. Okay. And those are two hot divisions, especially the 175 division is heating up. The 168 division is kind of heating up too, because we got people like David Morrell that already are in position to win. I think David Morrell won the regular WBA title, if I'm not mistaken, and David Morrell has only had a couple fights, so he's in position. David Morrell, that is, to face Canelo Alvarez for the WBA title. David Benavidez, if I'm not mistaken, in the 168-pound division, he is in position to face. He has the, if I'm not mistaken, the WBC international title. He is in the position. He's the number one guy in position to face Canelo Alvarez for the WBC title. When it comes to the IBF title, let me see. When it comes to the IBF title, there's nobody there yet. But the WBO title, Zach Parker is in position. I think Demetrius Andrews was supposed to face Zach Parker, and I don't know what happened. But in terms of the 168-pound division, Zach Parker is in a position to face Canelo Alvarez for his WBO title. So we got David Morrell, David Benavidez, Zach Parker, and Caleb Plant's right below David Benavidez. So David Benavidez, if not facing Canelo next, David Benavidez may end up facing Caleb Plant. And how would that matchup look? I don't know. So I would like, I'm hoping to be able to interview Lionell Thompson. I haven't heard back from him as yet. I'm gonna just freeze frame for a minute, and I'm come back to you guys. Hopefully, this is showing on right now. This is showing on YouTube. I will check to see. Hopefully, my audio is working as well. So we'll just check to see that right now. It is working. All right. I'm gonna delete that one. Okay, so all right, so I was just checking to see if it was working. I see somebody in the chat section. You guys can talk in the chat section. If you guys also want to pop on, ask Lionell some questions, as well. You guys can jump in here. Let me put the link in the chat section for the stream. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay, so we're just waiting for him to come through. He will come through, I believe. I'm not too sure when exactly. So I'll hold up with this stream for about half an hour, maybe to an hour, and see if he comes through. Let me see here. Okay, let me. So if you guys want to hop on here as well as just people to talk about the fights and stuff, or if you just want to leave your comments in the chat section, that's fine. Put the link for you guys to hop on here. You guys can talk about. Come on now. There you go. Oh man, you really just giving me a hard time, aren't you? What is going on here, man? Hold on one second, right? I'm using a phone, obviously, and it's just giving me hell right now. Give me a lot of hell. Just being a complete and utter idiot right now. It's giving me hell, man. Supposed to have so much difficulty. All right, so the link is in the chat. Hopefully the link just went into the chat, so you can always hop on as a guest in the chat as well. All right. So yeah, let's keep the ball rolling for the moment, and we'll just kind of wait for Lionell to come through if he's coming through. Again, if you guys want to come in here and also chat with me, that's cool. We could chop it up about what happened over the weekend, what you thought happened, you know, etc., etc., etc. So, first things first, let's just go through this real quick. The most recent fight that happened over the weekend, it was in the 175-pound division, the big fight, which was Artur Beterbiev versus Joe Smith Jr. And actually, we chopped it up a bit. I chopped it up a bit in different groups with different people, just discussing what happened, what transpired in that fight. So that fight didn't last very long. It went like about 2 rounds. And Artur Beterbiev did what I think most of us expected him to do, which was we expected him to stop Joe Smith Jr. Some people didn't expect him to stop him so quickly. I did, because Joe Smith Jr. takes too much punishment. I always thought so. I think Lionell Thompson also thought that Joe Smith Jr. was going to get chopped up as well. I was listening to him talk about it on the Boxing Voice. So why was that? Why did that happen? Well, one of the most interesting things about it was Joe Smith Jr. was using his jab, like everybody said he was going to use his jab. And he was coming after Artur Beterbiev, basically using the jab to try to close distance so he could land his right hand. You know, Joe Smith Jr.'s right hand is quite a thing. And he's a very tough customer. Everybody thought Joe Smith Jr.'s a tough customer, never been dropped, you know, never been stopped. But in this fight, Artur Beterbiev did not try to fight fire with fire. He wasn't going to stand and trade with Joe Smith Jr. Somewhat like what I saw him do in a fight before against, I can't remember the name of the fighter, but he dropped him. he basically fought off the back foot. He started to turn Joe Smith Jr. He circled Joe Smith Jr., going to Joe away from Joe Smith Jr.'s power hand, his right hand, and circling more towards Joe Smith Jr.'s what we call his weak side. That is to say, you're trying to circle to your right of your opponent's jab. You know, if you can get around your opponent's jab, you really got nothing for you. He has to actually turn and face you. If I'm throwing my jab at you here, and you're over here across my shoulder here, right? You're across from me. Then I have to turn to face you to do anything to you, right? So basically, he was circling that direction so he could get to Joe Smith Jr.'s weak side and attack him on his weak side. So he was countering him from the weak side, because when you counter somebody on the weak side, they can't counter punch you. They can't hit you back, right? So basically, that was what he was doing, and it worked for most of the fight. He was doing other things. He was doing other things, and he was using feints, and he was using his jab sometimes, you know, or he would move all the way across Joe Smith's body to get to the other weak side. There are two weak sides to a person, right? There are places where you can hit a person and they can't hit you. So when you go either to one side of their body or to the other side of their body, right, behind their shoulders, basically, is kind of like what you're doing. You are actually able to hit them and they are not able to hit you. So, for example, in the orthodox stance, for example, if I'm in my orthodox stance like this, side on like this, or like this, with my two hands up, right? When I pump my jab, which will block the screen, but let's just say I pump my jab at you here, right? If you're on this side of me, I can't do you anything, because if I throw a right hand, I have to go across my jab to hit you, right? And I've already thrown my left hand, and even if it's coming back, I have to turn to hit you. So that's why it's called the weak side over here, okay? Similarly, if I throw my right hand at you, I'm just going to keep my right hand extended a bit, and you are somewhere on this side of me, I can't do you anything because I can't jab you. I can't cross my arms to jab you. The Manny Pacquiao kind of does it, right? It's kind of weird with it. But if I'm on this side, I'm on your weak side because you just threw a punch. You're out of position, and I'm in position. It's also called forming a T angle. All of these terms, they're just terms. But the idea is to get to the outside of your opponent's shoulders. And you can hit them. You can throw a lot of flurry of punches. And for the moment that they don't turn and face you, and Lomachenko does this. I notice a number of Eastern European fighters, especially Ukrainian fighters, do this. They work on the counter punch, and they know how to cut angles to hit you. And this is something also that, of course, skilled, slick Black American fighters do quite easily. In fact, they have little tricks in which, if I am, say, for example, in this stance here, I'm side on, but what you don't understand is where my feet are tells you what's really going on. So if my feet are like, you can't see my feet. But if you could see my feet, you would realize that I'm really here and I'm not really here. Okay? And that's a little trick where your upper body is in a different plane to your lower body. So you twist, you torque your upper body into position, and you can really, for example, Mayweather versus Pacquiao in the first round, when Mayweather kind of turned into his actual stance and he hit Manny Pacquiao with a straight right down the center. And Pacquiao thought he had foot position. But that's basically what Beterbiev was doing to Joe Smith Jr. Joe Smith Jr. was coming in off the jab. Beterbiev would be to the right, his right of the jab. And then he would, come over the top with the right hand. Boom. Come over the top of the right hand. Hit Joe Smith Jr. on the side of his head. So that's what was going on with that fight. And, the footwork is so important in boxing. And fighting off the back foot. If you can't fight off the back foot, Deontay Wilder, he could fight reasonably well off the back foot, but not against taller guys. Shorter guys, it was easier for him to do because he had the reach advantage, so he could make mistakes. But with the taller guy, he didn't know how to fight off the back foot against a taller guy who has a longer reach than him, so or comparable reach as him. And so he had difficulty with Tyson Fury, who was pushing him back because he didn't know how to fight off the back foot against him. So it's all these tricks of the trade and things you have to know in boxing. Boxing seems simple, but it's not simple. But I would really like to talk with my boy Lionell Thompson a little bit more on this. But if even if we don't get to do the interview with him, we'll hold off till another time. I'm just talking to you guys right now. Hopefully, we can go through his career with him. Go down memory lane a little bit with some of those fights, some memorable fights he had, and just ask him some questions on them. Yeah, so that was Arthur Beterbiev versus Joe Smith Jr. Joe Smith Jr. tried to do everything almost textbook as correctly as possible. The problem with Joe was he couldn't turn in time. He didn't have the he wasn't able to. Beterbiev was very mobile, or Beterbiev should I say, was very mobile, whereas Joe Smith Jr. wasn't as mobile. He was more flat-footed, and Beterbiev kept on staying on the outside, circling him, feinting as if he's coming in, circling him, feint as if he's going one way, circle him. And then when Joe Smith Jr. thought he was going to feint again and then step around, instead what he did was he came straight down, his angle, and hit him. So it was that kind of thing that was going on. And sometimes Bitterbeard would pop his jab instead, and he started adding other things like his jab. He started throwing left hooks. He started fighting Joe Smith Jr. on the inside and blocking and covering up, but he's staying to one side of Joe Smith Jr. You look at Errol Spence, he do the same thing. Another good so you guys can understand pivot work. Another good example is go watch Jarrett Hurd versus J-Rock, where J-Rock is stepping around Jarrett Hurd. He's body to body, but he's stepping around him and landing his punches because he's getting to one side, like I said before, one side of the body. Once you get to one side of the shoulder, with this shoulder or this shoulder, you get to one side of it, you can work the body and the guy can't work you back, Anyways, man, so yeah. So we had Arthur Beterbiev versus Joe Smith Jr. Basically beautiful boxing, back foot boxing, just staying outside the pocket and then coming in the pocket to attack and then getting back out and circling out the pocket. And it was just beautiful boxing by Beterbiev and Joe Smith Jr. I would love to hear what Lionell Thompson's whole take on it is. I'd like to hear how Lionell Thompson would approach a Beterbiev, for example, and fight him. I know Lionell's not at 175, but just asking him as a hypothetical, that would be really cool to ask him. Yeah. We had a couple other fights in the 175-pound division. Of course, Dimitri Bivol versus Canelo Alvarez. We went through that in detail already. Bivol being a master at creating distance and maintaining range, which begs the question: what would happen if Bivol was to face Arthur Beterbiev? Most people, like myself, believe that Bivol would beat Arthur Beterbiev, as strange as it sounds. Finesse, skill, timing beats power and strength any day of the week. And I'm not saying that Arthur Beterbiev is not a competent, accomplished veteran boxer, but I'm just saying I don't know if he can actually. I don't think he can close the distance on Dimitri Bivol. And even if he does, I don't think he's going to land nothing of substantial importance, on Beterbiev, because Beterbiev has good footwork. Not saying that I'm not Beterbiev, sorry, Bivol. Bivol has good footwork, but I'm not saying that Beterbiev can't, he wouldn't be able to, maneuver around Bivol in some respects. But I just think one, Bivol's very sharp. Two, Bivol's got quick feet, quick hands. He knows how to create distance. He knows why he's throwing certain shots. And those straight shots, straight shots are always better than hooks. You know what I mean? Always beat a hook any day, any of the week. Even though Beterbiev basically throws short chopping shots, right? But still, I mean, I don't know, man. I always believe that skills pay the bills, and I always think that a superior boxer beats, a not so superior boxer any day of the week. I think the sport's called boxing for a reason. And I see people having disdain for people who fight off the back foot, and I never really understood that. I never understood how you could have disdain for fighting off the back foot. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I'm what you need. If you guys like this channel, don't forget you can like, share, subscribe, and don't forget that you can donate also via PayPal, which I'll try and put into the chat section at some point in this feed. Okay, so we're 24 minutes and 39 seconds in. It's now 8:38. I'm gonna go to 30 minutes, and if nothing happens, I think I'm gonna just shut it down. I was hoping that at this late hour that we would get something going with Lionel, but if not, it's cool. It's cool. Um, we'll see. We'll see what's up. We'll see what's up. So if you guys want to come through, drop through, don't forget the link is right there in the chat section for you to pop in. The link is right there. You can always come in as a guest. In the meantime, while we're waiting, I got about 5 more minutes. And if not, well, I'll just shut it down for now. Um, I don't want to. I don't want to speak on anything that I think I would want to hear him speak on certain things. So I won't. I won't cover the topics and stuff that I have here sitting down here waiting. I'll just leave it for another time. Whenever we can get him on here, or whenever we can get anybody on here. I may use those other topics for another time, but I just thought I would talk a little bit about those things while we wait. All right, let me talk. I don't know if I, let me talk a little bit about him. So Lionel Thompson has been getting tough fights throughout his career. This is why I admire him, and also uh, I'm sort of fortunate to even have him to interview him on this stream if he ever comes through. But let me give you a little background about Lionel Thompson. Been having difficulty always getting fights because a lot of times named opponents. We talking at 175. This guy's not even a he's not a big 175 pounder by any means. You know, what I mean, he's even when you look at him compared to Jose Uzcategui, you know, he's not bigger than Jose Uzcategui. He's like 5'11", like I said before, with a 75-inch reach. He has a decent reach. He's not the tallest guy. He's not the biggest light heavyweight. So he was actually fighting, and this is where I wanted to actually ask him a whole bunch of questions, but um, he wasn't even fighting at a weight class, which is really I would say his weight class. His weight class is really 168, so he's kind of like a Bevo character. Okay, when you think of Michael Hunter and you think of Alexander Usyk, they're similar characters. Michael Hunter's not really a big heavyweight; he's really a cruiserweight. Alexander Usyk is not really a big heavyweight; he's really a cruiserweight. And these guys are just they're so good, and they have a certain skill set that they can fight at heavyweight. Okay, and Usyk did tremendous thing by fighting a big heavyweight and actually beating him. And now I think Michael Hunter's going to be going up in there, and he's going to be fighting a big heavyweight in Huey Fury, very big heavyweight. And I believe Michael Hunter's going to handle the stories. And this is another fighter that is like that. He doesn't get the shine. He doesn't get the prominence. Again, difficult fighters never get shine and prop. Usyk was fortunate in that he was able to get opportunities because came from another country and everything, and he was able to get the opportunities and the situations where he can shine. But Michael Hunter, in my opinion, is just as good as Alexander Usyk, and we saw that in their fight. It was a very competitive fight up to the end, where Usyk kind of took over in the final rounds because Michael Hunter was like tiring. And this fighter, Lionel Thompson, is a very similar kind of fighter. It's a very difficult style to beat. Lionel Thompson. He's actually let me mention some of the names that he's faced in his career, and you guys can go back and watch it. So basically, Lionel Thompson has faced fighters like undefeated. He's faced undefeated fighters. He's faced undefeated Earl Newman. Okay. He's also faced for the NABA title, the light heavyweight NABA title. He faced Nicholson Pollard. Okay. So he actually fought for that, and he lost. He's lost almost all his fights by split decision. It's crazy. The only so let's just go through it. Anyway, so he just lost to Nicholas Pollard by split decision, And he also faced undefeated uh, Radiv Radivorjay Kaladžić, also known as Hot Rod, from Florida, who was undefeated 15-0 at the time when he faced him. And he lost that fight again by split decision. Hot Rod, I think, dropped him somewhere in the fight. I think it was the fifth round. And yeah, he lost that fight by split decision. And then he also faced Paul Parker, who was he was also known as pay-per-view. Paul Parker again beat him by split decision. You know what I'm saying? So there are two losses where he straight up lost. Okay, he lost to Sergey Kovalev, the Crusher, when the Crusher was the Crusher. Sergey Kovalev was 18-0 and one draw at the time, and he lost to Sergey Kovalev. Sergey Kovalev actually stopped him in the third round, got him hurt early. And I really want to ask him about that fight and a lot about that fight and that situation there. He also lost to Edwin Rodriguez, the guy who faced Andre Ward, who was this big puncher and terror in the division, 29-2. Now, let me just explain something to you guys so you can get a perspective of why I said this guy's good. All those guys I just mentioned, they're 6'1" and over. Some of them are 6'4". I mean, we talking about big guys in the light heavyweight division. These are big dudes. Edwin Rodriguez is like 6'2", 76-inch reach, and so on. These big guys. So when I say Lionell Thompson, it's like he better suited for, 168, just like how Canelo's better suited for 168, because Canelo's like 5'9" with a 71-inch reach. This dude is better suited for super middleweight. But anyway, these are some of the notable names, and then of course Jose Uzcategui. This was his debut at 168. He never fought at 168 in the pros. I guess in the amateurs he did, but in the pros he faced Jose Uzcategui, and his first debut at 168, he knocks down Uzcategui, and he also beats him. He beats Jose Uzcategui. So I'm just giving you all a little sketch into this guy's career. He also faced a couple other really good fighters, undefeated fighters, experienced fighters, veteran fighters. He's fought all kinds of fighters, and so he has a lot of experience. And I really wanted him to come on to the stream, but apparently that's not going to happen tonight. We are past our time with 32 minutes, 39 seconds. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So I kind of touched on his career a little bit. But he is very much an avoided fighter at the 175-pound division, which was really crazy because, what a lot of people don't know in the background, for fighters to get fights come, they get canceled. Guys say yeah, and then they come out before they don't sign the deals. So people stay away from certain fighters. And Lionell Thompson knows, and most fighters know how difficult it is to make fights and how hard it is to get a fight to actually come to fruition. You're constantly shopping around. So, I've been hearing about this guy for the longest while. I know he sparred Caleb Plant in numerous amounts of time. Has a lot of respect for Caleb Plant as well. But just to put it in perspective, Hot Rod, he actually was a contender for RWBF's IBF title, and RWBF knocked out Hot Rod. I think Hot Rod has 2 losses on his record right now, but he's still doing his thing. He's also faced other guys who have moved up, and done pretty good for themselves. So what I'm trying to say is, while he has never been himself a contender, he's never gotten to contender status, for whatever reason. He is a damn good fighter. All right, he's a damn good fighter, and I've seen him fight. I can tell you for a fact he's a good fighter. I haven't seen all his fights, obviously. But from what I've seen, he's good. I won't say any more. I will want to talk with him about that. But since this is basically it for now, we're gonna wrap it up right here. What I will say is, because we can't talk about his future, that's for him to talk about. We could talk about the future of Beterbiev if you want. We could talk about that right now on here. Um, so we could talk about Beterbiev's future. So what's going on with Artur Beterbiev? Okay, Artur Beterbiev is currently the WBC, WBO, and IBF champion now. Okay, and he is in the 175-pound division. And this is what's going on. He is the WBC champion, and the number one contender for his WBC title right now is Callum Smith, believe it or not. When it comes to the WBO, which he just won, the number one WBO contender is Anthony Yarde. And if you did pay attention, Anthony Yarde showed up to see who would win the fight between Joe Smith Jr. and Artur Beterbiev. So Anthony Yarde, if you all guys been paying attention, he has been, saying that, Bob Arum and Frank Warren promised him that he'd get a shot at the title. So he's literally actually trying to look to be the mandatory for Artur Beterbiev and have that fight happen next. And if you think about it, Dimitri Bivol with DAZN and Matchroom, and it might be an easier fight to make with Top Rank, ESPN, BT Sports, and Frank Warren in England. So maybe the direction that might go next for Artur Beterbiev may be Anthony Yarde. Okay, who's again a very skilled boxer, very discerning mind. He saw what Beterbiev was doing in Beterbiev. I'm saying Beterbiev. Beterbiev was doing in there, so he may be very perceptive to to what Artur Beterbiev was doing there. So that's the other person is now. Now this is interesting. When I looked up the IBF mandatory, they said Meng Fanglong, but that cannot be because Jean Pascal beat Meng Fanglong. He upsetted him. So if there's anybody who should be the IBF mandatory for Artur Beterbiev's IBF title, should be Jean Pascal. Now they're also saying that Joshua Buatsi, who beat Craig Richards, he's in line for the IBF title. I don't know which one of them is so, or if they have to face off with each other, Jean Pascal or Joshua Buatsi, but we'll have to wait and see. But that's what it looks like. So Artur Beterbiev, I think his next opponent is going to be Anthony Yarde for some reason. Because if I'm not mistaken, Joshua Buatsi, he fought on DAZN, and that's more Matchroom, and I don't know how, that's a cross-promotional thing, whether they'll go purse bids or what. Now, over on the side of Dimitri Bivol, remember, Canelo's going to be busy with Triple G. So I wanted to talk to, Lionell Thompson about all of this, Canelo versus Triple G and how did that shape up in the division, all that stuff. But we don't get that opportunity. I don't even know if they're fighting at 168. And if they are fighting at 168, Canelo versus Triple G, is this for Canelo's undisputed titles at 168? Is Triple G moving up to face Canelo for all his titles at 168? Is this a catchweight fight? Is Triple G's titles on the line? You don't know. I really don't know. But when it comes to the 175-pounder division anyway, in the WBA, the mandatory for Dimitri Bivol's WBA title is Gilberto Ramirez. Now, Meng Fanglong, if I'm not mistaken, also faced Jean Pascal for an eliminator of some kind for the WBA as well. So it could be that the winner of that also could get a shot. Jean Pascal get a rematch with Dimitri Bivol. So maybe that's what I'm looking at and not the IBF title. Maybe Meng Fanglong is the mandatory for the IBF title. I don't know. But what I can say is that it's kind of interesting because Bivol will have to face somebody. And now, of course, Beterbiev will want to face Bivol next, not Anthony Yarde, sorry. But it's just very interesting. I don't know what to really make of it, and Canelo versus Triple G is going to be an interesting thing. Like Timothy Bradley was saying, Canelo is going to have to go back to boxing, go back to that back foot stick and move, back foot boxing, and that's where you set up everything, and that's where you really do good work. but you have to be on the move. You have to constantly be moving to set the traps. You can't just sit on the ropes and set traps, you know. And so I just think whatever Canelo's going to do going on in the future, he's got to use stick and move. He's got to use backward boxing, and he's got to get his feet up to par. And Timothy Brad just echoed the same things I thought, and the same things I've been saying all along. Hold on a second, people. Okay, I got a guest in the chat section. Ah, my dude, Lonnie B in the building. Here we go.
What's up, champ?
Did he? All right, there we go. Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you? Hey, what just happened? What just happened? Private chat. All right, all right. You were here and then you just disappeared. Okay, so Lonnie B just came up into the building, but he just disappeared. I was trying to find him. Don't know what happened. Oh, there you are. Okay. Here you are. Here you are at the stream. Okay.
There we go. Yes,
There
sir.
we go. Yes, sir.
What's up, champ?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. And you?
Good. My fault. I think I'm like, man, 8. I'm like, I forgot we're on 2 different time zones. I'm thinking it's 8.
That's right.
It's
That's
8
right.
my time.
I'm
I'm like, oh man, it's probably. Oh, so then I said I was trying to stream on, but I couldn't do it at first. Then I did it again and finally did it.
great, 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 great. Man, I am so. First of all, it is my honor and privilege to actually see you. You are one of my favorite boxers, by the way.
Thank you, man.
Um, I know skills pay the bills, bro. But
Yep.
sometimes being so skilled is something people just avoid, like your opponents. They duck
Man,
and dodge you, bro.
man, I can say that again, man. Like my thing is this: I beat Uskategi easy,
I
easy.
saw it.
I should be
You put
top.
him down. You
Yeah,
put him down.
first round. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
think I should be talked about with the Canelos, the David Benavidez. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. With the Canelos, the David Benavidez, and those guys, you know what I'm saying?
Caleb Plant too.
Caleb Plant, all those guys. I would love to fight all those guys, but who knows, man? It's boxing. It's like it's so
Just
political.
once you stay in shape, once you stay in shape, I believe boxing rewards those who work hard and stay in shape, stay ready. I think that's the key, and your time comes. Your
No,
time will come, you know.
and it's crazy. I was when I got the call from Kentucky, I was sitting on the couch at home watching TV. And I got a call. You want to fight with Kentucky? I'm like, absolutely, absolutely. And but
How much weeks notice you had for that fight?
2 weeks and a half. 2 weeks and a half.
Wow,
Yeah, 2 weeks
wow,
and a half. Crushed them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking like, oh man, this is it. Finally, now I'm about to make some money. I'm about to be talked about with the rest of the guys. And I was thinking about like by 2020, I'll be super middleweight champ of the world. But and
right.
I did get offered the fight for the WBC title, but they only offered me $100,000, and I know for a fact it was $500,000 on the table.
Woo! Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So
Crazy.
how would that look? Me fighting two of the best super middleweights in the world, and not even breaking $100,000.
So wait, let me ask you. Let me ask you this question, because this
Yeah,
is a big question.
go ahead. Yep.
You debuted. You were a career 175 pounder until Usategi.
Yep.
Right. What made you decide to go light heavyweight? Because you are a 168 pounder. You're not a 175 pounder.
Right. It's crazy because on my career, I ain't think I can make 68 because like when I make 75, I'm like shredded, ripped up. So I'm like, man, I'll try to make the weight, but if I can do it all over now, I would just pay that little $5,000 for a nutritionist to get me on
Right.
168 and I'd have been champ. But when you young, you really don't know. I never see. People don't know. I never had a team. I never had no money behind me. No, none of that. So everybody's like, you should go to 168. Like I can't make the weight. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And my thing is this: when you're doing something like this, you need professionals,
Right.
somebody who know what they're doing. You can't have
Right.
somebody who's salad and drink water and you'll be fine. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
For sure, for sure.
I found the nutritionist, and, and I found my nutritionist, and he's a beast. He said we made the weight, and he's like, "Yo, you're gonna be a monster at that weight." He's like, "You're gonna be a monster at that weight. Like nobody's gonna be able to beat you." You know what I'm saying? And now
Right,
what's so whack about boxing now, right? Is that I figured out what was wrong. Now nobody want to fight me. Now I'm too dangerous and all this other crazy stuff.
right.
Like how was that even
Well, I
fair?
gotta ask you a couple more questions. So one of the things was you couldn't make the weight. That's why you were doing 175.
Yeah.
But you, I mean, you was fighting giants. Six
Right.
three, 6'4". I was watching these guys. These like huge guys compared to you.
And my thing is that guess what? And if you see, I only been stopped one time, and mostly all my losses are split decisions against real guys.
That's what I was just saying to everybody. I was saying to the audience out there that you actually had close fights that just didn't go your way,
And
basically.
they and you know when I fight Kentucky, they was like, I'm glad they cleaned that up. Like, yo, a lot of those losses should have went his way. You know what I'm
Yep,
saying? They didn't,
I agree.
but now this is a fresh start for him. He win this fight, this wipes the slate clean.
Right, because this is a new division as well.
Yeah, Paul.
When I look at
And wait, and not to cut you off, and it's a top guy. Like I moved down and weight and fight a top guy in my first fight at that weight.
But you always been doing this. Your whole career has been tough
It,
fights.
exactly. So my thing is this:
Yeah.
I don't deserve to make no money.
I'm 100% behind you on that. I'm 100% behind you on that. You have to know your worth, and you have to call your price. That's the real thing. The only thing is, you just need to be busy though.
Right, yo, and that's my thing, right? I tried to fight a lot
A
of
couple
guys.
stay busy fights, even
Like
even stay busy fights. Anything.
I'm even trying to. I can't even get no stay busy fights. Like guys, like no. Like I tried to fight Jesse Hart.
Jesse Hart. That's a good
Yeah,
fight.
yeah, right. I was like, yo, I would love to take that fight. His promoter said no. We ain't looking for no fight like that. Who else? I mean, just me and Dave, me and
Zach
Dave,
Parker.
huh?
Zach Parker. You ever heard of Zach Parker?
From he over there with Frank Warren, right?
Yep.
Uh, I would love to
Or
fight. I would love
Rocky
to fight
Fielding.
any. I would love to fight any of those guys. Any of those guys.
I don't know what Billy Joe Saunders is doing, so I can't really say. But how about John Ryder?
Oh, Billy Joe wouldn't fight me. You know I was his sparring partner for Canelo.
Oh, really?
Uh huh.
Okay. But is Billy Joe coming back?
Yeah, if he want to get it, he can get it. Listen, Billy Joe, put it to you like this: after 3 rounds, they said that's enough.
But another guy who I think now he actually should be in line. He's actually in line to face Canelo is John Ryder.
I would love to fight John Ryder too.
John Ryder. Yeah, he fought Callum Smith
And listen,
and
I'm not
he beat Danny Jacobs.
right. He beat.
Southpaw.
Listen, I'm not ducking no work. I'm not ducking no work.
Okay. Well, what we want to do on this channel is we want to hook you up with some other channels so you could keep on letting people know you, see your face,
Yeah, man.
because that's what you have to get yourself a little bit more out there, a little bit more, so people will know who this line. Because I knew you from the Mayweather Boxing channel. You was
Right.
always talking, and it always got like everybody was like buzzing when you said something, right? So I was like, this
And you know
guy has something.
why? Because I tell
He
the
has
truth.
something up.
Like if you don't want to hear the truth, then don't listen to me talk. Because I'm gonna tell the truth. I don't say what's
Right.
politically correct, and I don't say what everybody want to hear.
Right.
I the truth, man. Period.
So I gotta ask you, Sergey Kovalev, right?
Mhm.
When you fought him, what did you notice that you didn't know about him when you were facing him, or you knew what you were facing when you saw him? Anything new or anything interesting that you found was surprisingly or something like
Man,
that?
his skills, that European style was tough, man. Yeah.
Hmm.
Eh, people say what they
What was it?
want,
The
but he
jab?
the jab, everything, the skills, the cutting the ring off, the punches and bunches, the hard, stiff jab, the accuracy, the timing, everything was just that was my first time experiencing something like that. You know what I'm saying? After that, my fight game went. to the next level. That's why listen, man. I've been through hell in this boxing ring. That's why guys like David Benavidez, David Morrell, them guys can't beat me. Like it's nothing they can bring to the table that I haven't seen already. Like there's no kind of
Okay.
power they can bring. And then another thing I'm gonna touch on too, like a lot of these guys are supposed to be monsters and all that, but a lot of these guys is using performance enhancement drugs for real.
Oh.
Like, and that's just the part of the world boxing don't know. Like a lot of these guys is using performance enhancement drugs. I'm not. If you look, I'm probably the only fighter that fought top competition. Ain't never been tested pop for no type of steroids,
Wow.
no type of nothing. Clean, squeaky clean.
Right. Just skills.
Just skills and hard work. And every big fight I was in was on short notices, 3 weeks at the most.
Right. Right.
So people, for those who criticize me, I'm getting fight on a 2 through 3 week notice. I'm pretty much freestyling with it. And I'm fighting against guys who have full training camps, training for one particular guy. Like they training particularly for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Big difference, man.
Yeah.
Like imagine if I ever got a full training camp with a little bit of money behind me, and I'm training for like a David Benavidez or David Morrell or a John Ryder, or I'm specifically training for them for 8 weeks.
Right.
I did Uzcategui on the 2 week notice. Another
That's
thing,
crazy.
name me one fighter in the last 30 years I moved out of the way at 34 years old and beat a world champion there first fight.
That's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
We know you got skills. The question is, how do we get you out there? Like, how we get, so people know who you are.
Bringing my name up, like on the thing I saw you on Facebook today. Just keep bringing my name up and stuff like that, so people, you know what I'm saying? Because like, yo, like David screaming,
Because
David screaming out,
I
nobody.
don't see nobody. Nobody seems to want to face you. They don't want to face this. This is a bigger name, but still, what's the kid?
Boo-boo.
Demetrius Andre. They don't bring up his name no how. Like
Yeah,
nobody brings up his name. Nobody. I mean, Devin was able to finally get in.
yeah,
Finally get. He's in a position now where they have to gun for him. He doesn't have to go looking for them.
yeah.
And you just have to get in that position where even if you get a regular title or some kind of title, that'll put you in a position where now they can't avoid you. That'll go through you.
And the
You know
crazy
what I
part
mean?
is, I tried to fight I got offered to fight the kid David Morrell. I said it was for 50,000. I took it. They turned me.
I can't believe that David Morrell is right now the regular champion. I can't believe that. He's a
What the hell,
WBO regular already.
and what the hell is regular champion? Like, come on, like
I don't know.
listen. If people don't see that this is political, that they pick and choose who they want to make champ, how can a kid be champ? Who did he even fight?
Nobody so far.
You know what I'm
He's
saying?
still to me he's still a prospect.
Yeah, but he's world champion though.
Yeah, he is.
In boxing,
Definitely is.
boxing is about who you know. It ain't about how good you can fight. It's about who you know. And
I'm not saying he can't fight, but I'm just saying he don't have enough experience, pro experience, to say he should be a champion, right?
it's like he a world champion.
Usategi? Yeah, he was a Formula World champion. He earned that. He beat Andre Durrell.
The only one who stopped him.
Yep, the only one who stopped. He would have stopped him the first fight too if he didn't get DQ'd.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And saw the way he fought Durrell and saw the way he fought me day and night.
Yeah, totally different fight.
He was throwing bombs.
Even Caleb Plant had a hard time with him coming down the stretch, but you totally outboxed him.
For round 1 to 10, I
It
was
wasn't even close.
Then I started playing with him.
It wasn't even close.
It wasn't close. Like, it wasn't even close. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, it's so messed up. And my thing is this: that they do this to the black man.
Yep. Unfortunately.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, and a black man is the one who started it. You know, Floyd.
Yo. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Floyd
Like,
bad.
all because I tried to negotiate. Like, now, once I win a fight like that, I'm not a boxer anymore. I'm a businessman. So now let's do business. Let's stop playing. Let's do business. Let's do a 3-fight deal. You're not about to just throw me in the fight hoping I lose, and now they don't have a plan for me. What's the plan? I just beat one of the scariest guys in my division. Don't hit me with the former world champion because he's still young, still in his prime, and he just lost his belt a fight ago. And barely lost it. So don't hit me with the former world champion. Don't hit me with that. Don't hit me with that. You know what I'm
He's a
saying?
world, once a world champion, always a world champion in my book.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So don't so now let's negotiate. Y'all want me to fight David Benavidez? Cool. Let's negotiate. You know what I'm saying? No, we don't want to do that. We just want to clip 400,000 from you and throw you in the fight hoping you die. That's what that really is. You know what I'm saying? But this everybody this is this is called TBE.
Okay. So who are you lined up with next? What is your next? You have something down the pipe, but you're not going to say obviously because it's still in negotiations, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm trying to fight Jesse Hart, man. I was like, that'd be a good comeback fight. You know, knock him off. You know what I'm saying? But his promoter like, nah, nope. I'm like, damn, because I was going to put him to sleep. Um, anybody, listen, man. Anybody, listen. I just want to get a fight at one. They trying to get me go back to the 175, and I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not going back.
So 175 is kind of out for now.
Yeah.
What about a Gabe Rosario? Gabe Rosado.
I would love to fight Gabe Rosado.
Now he's coming off a loss to what's this kid name? Munguia though.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to get back in the ring. As long as that 168, I just want to get back in the ring. Like,
But Gabe Rosado's always game, always gives it all. I don't know if he's gonna continue to fight or if he's gonna call it a day. But that to me, that's a good fight for you as well if you could get that arranged with him.
my thing, people probably look me up and see what I did at 75 and see what I did at 68. Like, oh nah, that's a tough fight. Yeah, like I get it, and I get it.
But
Like,
I think Gabe's a guy. I mean, it depends on who he's facing, right?
yeah,
But I think Gabe's a guy who he don't duck or dodge nobody. I don't know him to duck or dodge anybody. So that would be and that's a
yo,
good fight because
it's
Gabe is a veteran. You are a veteran.
it's
I
funny
think it's a
because
good matchup.
they had the same thing about Jesse Hart. Like, yo, Jesse Hart to fight you. And then we tried to make it happen. They said no, not him. Anybody, not him though. So that's why I'm just cracking up. You say that, like, listen, you have to think this way. How much did Gabe make his last fight?
Gabe,
Yeah,
I don't know. Hey, he probably made a good amount of money. It's
right.
Munguia. He
So,
was going up against Munguia.
so with me, you think he gonna make less to fight somebody that's way better, way more dangerous? That's gonna retire him.
No, he's not gonna. I mean, you gotta pay. You gotta pay him. I mean,
You
you gotta
gotta
pay
pay
him.
him. So my
Yeah.
thing is, money only gonna save me. I gotta get somebody that's willing to get me invest the fight because I'm worth it. I prove I'm worth it. Look at my record. I'm worth it. These
Right.
promoters are just lazy nowadays. They want
Now
somebody with.
the question though would be who would be paying the money? Would it be you paying the money or the promoter of him paying the money? Who you have a promoter?
No, yeah, no, the promoter be paying the money. I ain't fought in 2 years. I ain't got no money to be paying nobody.
Right. So you would be negotiating with who? You have a manager though. You have management.
Yeah, no, I do my own manager.
So you're your own, so you're a free agent.
Yeah, I'm a free agent. Yep, no manager, no promoter.
Okay.
Like
Okay. So you manage yourself.
The bull that come with that stuff. I'm just tired of it.
Okay. So you just have to make a deal now with either a network or with a network then.
Or a promoter. Yep.
Yep.
So I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I'm just like, yo, listen. Whoever wanted that 68, I ain't ducking no smoke. I'm not ducking no smoke.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So you're just staying ready. Well, baby, we got some names at 68 that I think might go your way because I think veterans versus veteran. I think experience versus experience. I think that would work out. So what about Danny Jacobs? Now he got another big name. Though. He's a big name, so he might want big money.
I tried to fight Danny.
But he's a big name with big money though. He's big money because he fought Canelo. He fought all the big names. So he'd be asking for big money, of course.
Yep, I tried to fight Canelo, but I mean,
Canelo too?
no, I tried to fight Danny Jacobs,
Right.
but
What do you say?
they just never got back to us.
Hmm. When was that, by the way?
Like during the pandemic.
Ah, okay. So instead of John Ryder, he probably would have had you in the pandemic.
Right,
Either him, because he fought Gabe and he fought John Ryder in the pandemic.
right. I'm like, man, I would love, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, any 68, man. And but something, it's crowd. I really think it's gonna happen for me. Though. I really think uh, it's gonna. I'm gonna shock the world, man. Like I'm a praying man. So I don't believe God brought me this far to bring me this far. You know what I'm saying? So
I
I'm
agree.
positive. I've done everything I can do. I done called these guys out. I done tried to make the fights happen. I done took the short end of the stick. Anything I can do to get in the ring. So I've done everything I can do, man. So now I'm just gonna keep training, staying in shape. So when the phone ring, I can ruin somebody's life.
I hope you might actually make somebody's life because what a lot of people don't realize is you may be a champion in waiting, and that person's resume might go up because they face you. So
Right.
there's a lot of you face Kovalov, remember? So
Yep.
your resume looks better because you face Kovalov, and so on and so on. So I'm just saying
But but but
that
but think about this, right? I still had a career. I still had a career. I still had a career afterwards.
right.
Think about if you look at my last five, name me one of them guys that fought since me. Like have they fought after they fought me?
Yeah, Hot Rod went and fought Bitterbeer for
But
the
it like
IBF title, if I'm not
yep, yep.
mistaken.
But that was years
And
ago.
he did okay.
Huh?
He did okay.
Yeah, yep. Yo, and who my last five? Who fought? Who fought? Like I be retiring guys, literally.
Yeah, you knocked some guys
Yeah,
out.
listen, Uskategi felt like he had to go take steroids.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? He felt like he
Yeah,
had to.
because that he wasn't Usategi supposed to face was it Jamel Charlo or David Benavidez?
David Benavidez.
Right. He might have been taking steroids when he was facing you.
Exactly. So, but man, ask yourself this: why do you think he had steroids?
Exactly. You faded out, but I
Man,
get what you're saying. Why did they have to take it? Why did they have to take it? Because they're not
yeah, like
confident they can.
yep. Or maybe he knows something that we don't. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I mean? I've been asked to fight these guys.
Right. Right. Shout out to my brother in the background there, Gary Henderson. He said, "My guy, what's up?" He said, "What's up to you, Lonnie?"
What's going on, champ?
Yeah, man. He always comes through, checks out the channel. We try to break down what we could. I'm a southpaw. I'm really a 154 pounder. I blow up to 180 pounds, but when I get my weight down, I'm 154. So
Yeah,
that's where I fight at. So
yeah.
I do a little boxing, a little something.
Oh, really? Oh, word? You be
Yeah, I'm a Trinidadian. I'm
yes,
from
sir.
Trinidad. I'm in the Caribbean actually.
Yeah, you be getting it cracking.
I do my little thing. I do my little thing. I'm 40. I'm 47. So you're 30,
6.
36.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm 47. I'm still doing it.
yeah. I'm
You know what I'm
listen.
saying?
I'm young. I don't care what nobody say.
Yeah. Well, my boy Sergio Martinez, he's still doing it.
Yeah,
Sergio's still doing that 40. What is he? 40, 44, 40, 45, somewhere there. Sergio
yeah.
Martinez still boxing. So I mean, once you have defense and you're not getting hit, you can go for as long as you want because you have that solid foundation of defense, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Even if your reflexes slow down, whatever, you have the fundamentals, you have your defense,
Oh,
you're okay.
oh, yeah. I get busy, man. I ain't worried about nothing. I ain't worried about nothing. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. You understand? And you may be one of the oldest super middleweight champions. Who knows? Who
Right.
knows? You know.
I'm setting
So
this bar.
there's history to be made.
I'm I'm um um I'm setting the bar high.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I want to ask you some specific questions now concerning. Uh, we know we just spoke about what the future may hold for you. We spoke a little bit about your career, just a little bit about your career. We didn't really go into depth yet. I have some other questions for you, but I want to know from you first of all, what did you think? I saw your live reaction to the Bitter BF versus Joe Smith Jr. fight. This is the light heavyweight fight. I want to hear your thoughts now, having kind of gathered and thought about it. What did you think about Joe Smith Jr.'s approach, what he you think he could have done better, and Bitter BF's approach, and what you thought he could have done better?
Well, I think what Joe could have did better was not take the fight. That's the only thing he could have done better. And
All right.
um, Beater B did what he do. Like that's like my big brother. Like I've been in camp with him. And listen, ain't nobody beating him at that weight. Nobody. I don't care who it is. They don't stand a chance, man. Just
So
don't.
you think he's just too good?
He's too good, too strong. He's on a different level. I've been in the ring with him. I know. Like Joe Smith trying to fight fire with fire. Like they like everybody say Joe. Everybody say Arthur's chinny. Like anybody can't get dropped. Like, but he
Right.
tightened the game. Like you saw, he came out boxing, Joe. And then
He boxed him.
soon as he touched him, you saw what happened. Spaghetti string noodle legs.
He didn't even catch him properly.
You're right.
He didn't even catch him properly, and he dropped.
He's gonna kill Anthony Yard.
Anthony has a big dude though.
He's gonna
Anthony
kill.
Yark can easily.
He's gonna kill Anthony Yard. Watch.
Okay. Okay. Now,
And
now let me ask you this: Do
Kovalev,
you think?
Kovalev
Do you
not gonna.
think he could beat? You think he could beat Dimitri Bivol?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay.
Dimitri Bivol couldn't even stop Canelo little ass.
Okay. But don't you think that Bivol, with his movement, his foot movement, and the way how he uses his lead hand, could control Bitterbief? Because you know when Bitterbief is coming in off his stick, sometimes his defense is kind of not tight enough. Like when he's coming forward, particularly.
Yeah, well, last night I ain't see that. I saw him looking
Well, he
good.
wasn't coming forward; he was boxing him
Yeah,
most of the time.
I think he's gonna crush. I don't think Bivol got enough to keep him off. Like he couldn't even hurt Canelo. Like he couldn't even hurt Canelo. Like and
All right.
Arthur cuts the ring off too good. You got to fight. At some point, you got to fight.
Right. But you
He
don't think that Bivol has good defense?
no. See, it's easy to have good defense against lesser guys. Arthur don't get no better than that. You know what I'm saying? And everything he throw, you feel it. I know. Every hit you
Right.
start getting aggressive with you, physical with you, and
Right.
it really is. Dimitri Bivol know what's up. That's why he said, I'll go down to 68 to fight Canelo again." You see, he's trying to go down to 68 to fight Canelo for a rematch. Yeah, fight Arthur. No, you the champ. Unify with Arthur.
I would love to see that. I would love to see Bivol versus Arthur.
Listen,
I personally think Bivol would beat him, but I
no,
mean, I think his jab is something, man. That jab, that pesky jab.
listen, Arthur. You need more than that to be. If you ain't got no pop, you're gonna lose the fight. Listen, who you think punch harder, Joe Smith? Listen, you saw when Bivol and Joe Smith fought, right?
Yeah, he almost stopped him in the 12th.
Say that again.
I think he almost stopped him in the 12th, but he turned on the gas a little bit and he backed off. Bivol.
All right, you got him out of there in two.
Yep. Because he's a power puncher. Bevo's not really a power puncher. To me, Bevo and
Exactly.
you are the same size. You guys are
Exactly.
about the same size. Yeah.
Yeah. He don't stand a chance with. He don't stand a
But
chance.
you sparred Bitterbeer.
That's why I'm telling you this. Yo. I have never experienced nothing like that in my life, yo. He. I can't even explain how good he is. Like, it's one of the things you got to just see for yourself. Because if I told you, you wouldn't believe me. Like, he is
Right.
different. Like, out of all my years of boxing, I've never been in the ring with nobody that good. I thought
Wow.
he hit you with a shot that hurt. He hit you with a long shot that hurt. He hit you like he just got so like I can't see nobody holding up under that type of beating for 12 rounds. If you do, you're gonna be brain dead. Like,
Okay. Okay. So you think
listen, he wasn't even hitting Anthony Yard. I mean, he wasn't even hitting Joe Smith clean. Had him on wobbly legs.
right? But Joe Smith, you consider Joe Smith a fighter? I say a Bivol or as a Kovalev. You see him in that class, a fighter, or he's a guy that kind of is trying to improve as a fighter. Because
No,
I think you're a much better fighter than him.
yeah, I do.
Much.
But I see him in that class because he's world champion. He got a belt.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, okay, all right. I see him. I don't see him on the level of you or Bivol or not even Canelo, to be honest, because he's flat footed. He's flat footed.
Yeah,
I mean, you could box circles around him because he's flat footed.
yeah,
He
and
tried to sit down on everything. He
yeah,
tried to throw everything with heat.
I think Bivol, uh, B. I think it goes like a little like the kid Volsnick and Beater Beef. You know what I'm saying? I think once Beater Beef turn it up, I think once Beater Beef turn it up, it's over. It's over.
Yeah.
Like, cause he can't.
Jason Williams.
Huh?
Right, right. Jason Williams asked, "Do you think age will set in for Beterbiev?"
No, nope. Listen, he's
Right,
37. Ain't showing no signs of
right,
slowing down.
right. For real. Gary Henderson says, "What are some of the nuances in Bitterbiev's game?"
He don't,
Nuances.
he don't got none. He just perfection.
Right. So what did you see when he was circling when he was because you could tell that they worked on this in camp. So what was he doing as he was what do you think he was doing as he was circling Joe because Joe kept on chasing well it looked like Joe was chasing him down. What do you think Joe should have done? So you think he should have chased him down or you think he should have let Beterbiev come to him because he has the reach advantage?
Like I said, I think he should have not took the fight, and then I think he did what he could do. I think he did what he could do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because Arthur was letting him do that. I know Arthur. He is like he really thought and got caught. Really got caught clean down. Down. I knew I'm like he gonna kill Joe Smith. Joe Smith ain't gonna listen. You saw when I mean he was just beating the hell out of him.
Yeah. The first shot he hit him with, he put him down.
Yeah.
Or the second right hand. Sorry, the first one he stunned him, and Joe tried to fight him on the ropes, but the second one he put him down with that. That was
Like
clean.
Joe Smith turned around, what was going on? He was like I'm like, how you feel, brother?
He put him down 3 times in
Yep.
2 rounds.
Right.
But do you think that Beterbiev is a weight bully? Let me explain what I mean. He was fighting at heavyweight, right?
Yep.
In the amateurs, he was a heavyweight.
Right.
So
But I
they
think
shrunk him down to light heavy. So he has heavyweight power at light heavy, right?
yeah, but I don't think he's a weight bully. I think that's his weight. For example, I can say, do you think David Benavidez is a weight bully?
Yes.
He's 6'4". He's 6'4". He's really a cruiserweight that make 168 and beating up small
That's right.
guys at
Yep.
64 pounders, and everybody calling him a monster.
Yeah, I agree. He's tremendously huge for his weight class. I would like to know what he rehydrates to on fight night.
Right. And I'm pretty sure he takes special vitamins too.
Possibly. I don't know. I don't know if he uses PEDs. I don't know. I can't
I
say.
I do.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it's all
Uh, let me ask this question now. Canelo in your weight class.
yeah.
Canelo versus Triple G in your weight class, right?
Oh, Canelo, Triple G. Okay. No,
Yeah.
I'm not. I tell you, I don't know, man. Triple G looked like a beast his last fight.
Yeah, he looked real strong.
Yeah,
That
man.
was 150, but he was huge. He was huge.
He looked like a beast his last fight. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he looked like a
Now,
last fight.
so Canelo versus Triple G. I know you'd want the winner, but my question would be more, or the loser, because there's money there. But my question to you would be, what do you think Canelo should do in this? How do I put this? Because you're not Canelo. What would you do if you were facing Triple G with the skill set that you had?
I would box him. Sneak hard shot. I wouldn't run from him though. I would my ground a little bit, but use a little movement. I would put the hard stick on him and go to his
Right,
body and keep going to his body, keep going to his body, keep going to his
right,
body. I would get aggressive with him. I would get physical aggressive with him, and short shots on the inside. And when I will make it hell for him every part of the ring. If he want to go on the inside, hard body shots. Boom, 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 boom. Box. Outside box, hard jab, feint, box. Then I would get on the inside, rip the body, get aggressive, push him around, get aggressive with him. That's what you gotta do with Triple. You gotta let him know that he can be hurt too.
right. Now he throws some really fast for a guy that is that old. I saw him throw pretty crisp, fast 3, 4, 5 punch combinations on the Japanese kid. I forgot what his name is.
Murata,
Murata. Yeah, Murata. I saw him, and Murata was landing some nasty overhand rights on him. He
right,
hurt him. He hurt him a couple of times.
right,
So now Canelo is much bigger. Canelo is fought at a higher weight class. He's
yeah.
coming down. What do you think? Where do you think he went wrong with Bevo, and how could he correct that? I know Triple G's a totally not so much of a different fighter because he also uses a jab, but how could he correct it so he have a spectacular performance against Triple G, and then Triple G coming, I guess, up in weight. I think he's going to 168. He's come up to your division, somewhere in between. What would Triple G have to do? You think to sort of make that fight some kind of a sort of balanced fight?
Just do what he did this last fight. Throw a lot of punches at Canelo. Go to Canelo's body because Canelo really gets tired. He
Yes, he does.
really gets tired. Like after the fifth, sixth round, he really be tired.
Yeah, if you push the pace of the fight on him, he gets tired.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I think if he, oh, excuse me, I think if
That's
you,
all right.
I think if you pick the pace on him, he's you'll get him.
Interesting. So, what does Canelo have to do to improve so that the loss against Bivol, he could do something spectacular to make everybody believe maybe he could beat Bivol in a rematch or something,
He don't
or
need,
he could actually go back up.
yeah, he don't need to fight him in a rematch. He's too little. He too little. He need to stay in his. He need to stay in his lane. 60 or super
Okay.
middleweight. Stay in your lane, man. Leave them light heavyweights alone. And they too big.
Okay.
Uh,
So
good
what do he have to do in his performance though? Because he was talking, Canelo was talking mad junk at Bitterbeef. He tweeted, "I'm gonna knock you out" and all this kind of stuff after the fight.
Yeah, well, my thing is this, right? He can say what he wanted about Beater Beef, but why? Did he pick Beef off? He could have fought Beater Beef. Why do you think he picked Beef off?
Because Bivol is a good boxer. Maybe to say I
Because
could conquer
Bivol
a boxer.
guy between Beater Beef and Bivol the lesser guy. All that's cap. He not gonna fight Arthur. Arthur would knock Canelo little ass out.
You think so?
I know
All right.
he will beat the shit out of Canelo. Literally, that fight will go one round.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. You sparred Bivol. You sparred Beterbiev, so you would know
His ass
how
whooped.
hard he hit. But he didn't. He didn't. He didn't. I mean, he would have hurt you on your arms, but he didn't catch you flush on in your face and stuff, did he?
No, he caught me on
He never caught you flush.
yeah, he put me down with a body shot.
Oh shit! He put you down, but like when you sparred, because you sparred him more than once, right?
Like 5 years in a row.
Whoa! Right. So you had to, if you face that kind of pressure, you had to be able to somehow box that. So how did you manage that?
Being in real good shape, staying low, using my legs, using feints, grabbing and holding.
So
Being
you
selective.
clinched up, you locked him up.
Yeah, not throwing a lot of punches. Pick and choosing my shots, being real strategic. But you got through. I'm special. I'm MJ. I'm MJ. Everybody can't do what I can do. And my thing is this: I'm doing it. I'm only doing it 4 rounds. You know what I'm saying? And when he
Right.
got on 8 gloves on in the fight, it'd be totally different with the little gloves on. I got on with the big difference with that when that headgear come off and them gloves get smaller.
That's true. That's true. That's a totally different game. I got you. I got you. I got you. Um. So you think he's going to dominate the 175-pound division, then move up?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think nobody gonna be able to beat him at 75. Nobody.
Wow. So with respect to Canelo, you saying what does Canelo have to do with Triple G? You think that shows that he somehow grew from the Bivol fight because he got beat. I know he's taking that loss seriously. Like
Yeah,
he
you
totally
got to do.
devastated him.
You got to do. He got to stop Triple G. He got to.
Hmm. You think he could?
No.
Triple G is so goddamn tough, man. He's
Yeah,
tough,
no.
and he has some defense.
Yeah, but you gotta realize these fights you're talking about, these guys is machine versus machine. You know what I'm saying? All
Right.
these guys is taking something, you know what I'm saying? So it's really hard to tell on any given
Right.
day. Well, I don't look
Right.
at like who got the better skill. I look at who got the biggest money behind them because that's who pretty much gonna win.
Okay. I got you. I got you. Because he's going to be moving up in weight. He's
Right,
coming up to your division.
right.
So I don't know how that's going to go down.
Right.
Gary Anderson, who shout out to you, and Jason Williams. Gary Anderson says, "I don't call guys weight bullies. If you can make the weight, you can make the weight, especially if the guys eventually move up in weight."
That's
Yeah,
true.
but when you rehydrate, the thing is when you rehydrate. Let's say you rehydrate 20 pounds more, 20 pounds more, or 25 pounds more. That's a lot of weight. That's
And
like
then
a totally different weight class.
imagine if you own something too.
Shit, that's crazy.
Right.
That's crazy. Damn. But I know most of the elite fighters are on something. I don't
Right.
know if necessarily something is illegal because snack offers a lot of performance enhancing, legal performance enhancing stuff.
Yeah.
So I think everybody takes something.
Not me.
So you don't use any snack products or anything, any naturopathic things, nothing at all. You just box.
Just that's how good I am. MJ.
Wow,
Put me on the court off the bench.
wow,
Listen, you put me off the bench, I'm putting up 70 points.
whoa, that's crazy. He said, Jason Williams asked this question. He says, elaborate, my brother. What do you mean by whoever has the most money behind them?
Basically saying this boxing is political. So whoever got the bigger money machine behind them is more than likely to win the fight. They can care less about how good, how skilled. They can care less about that. All this is about is money. So whoever got the biggest money machine behind them is going to win the fight. Like, that's a couple fights I thought Floyd lost, but he got that money machine behind him, so they're going to make sure that you win. So that's what I mean by it's political. The politics run the sports, not the fighters.
I see.
Everybody that she was on top was paid to get there, like paid for that spot.
Interesting.
And then they put them in there with guys that's so-called and why do you think we got all these belts? The regular champion, the super champion, the duper champion, the whooper champion, all fucking winky dink champions that now like you be having like 7 champions in like one weight class.
Right.
How?
Sanctioning fees.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's why they're trying to get. We are hoping to get rid of some of the belts, but I don't know how that'll go. But hopefully that happens. But now, all right. So you don't really have any nailed down schedule or fight ahead of you right as of now.
No, not as of now.
But there are several maybe things in the works, or no?
Yep. Over here in Abu Dhabi, we might be doing something. So stay tuned.
Okay. Cool. And are you interested in having your own promotional company, or are you just going to self-manage yourself and move forward with that?
Yeah, I'm just going to do that. You know.
Okay. I wanted to ask you one more question here on. So you say anybody could get it. This is my question. Since you are managing yourself now, you are your self-manager. Are you going to have some sort of standard where you say, hey man, I need to have so many weeks notice, or you're still going to do things on 2 weeks notice, 3 weeks notice? Are you going to keep on going that way, or you're going to set a boundary or standard and try to make fights where, because you waited out so long?
That's a good question. To answer that question, yes, I'm going to set the boundary. I got to get 6 to 8 weeks to train. Period.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
For a guy, period. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that 2-3 weeks no more. Give me enough time to train, and now let's see what's going to happen. Now let's see what's up.
Right. Now we got different platforms. We got Triller, The Zone, ESPN, Showtime, Fox. I think Fox is still around, right? Those are the different platforms. Are you going to be negotiating with them? Because Jerome Ennis, for example, he did a deal directly with the platform Showtime. Or are you going to be doing deals with the promotional company, Top Rank?
I can't speak on that right now, but when we get set, you gonna be the first one I let know.
Nice. Okay, well, you guys working on your stuff. Okay, cool.
But listen, champ, I got to get the weight training. So thank you.
Yes, sir. I see you were trying to get your Z's. I didn't know you were in the middle of your nap. I think I caught you in the middle of sleeping.
No, I just woke up because I was like 8, and I'm then hit like maybe 8:05 my time 8. Then I went on Facebook and you hit me up. I'm like, I hope I ain't late. Damn, I don't want to think I dubbed them. So I just logged on. So I'm glad but I got weight training in like 15 minutes.
Appreciate that, man. I appreciate you taking the time out to speak with us. Hopefully we can get you up on some other platforms on YouTube. This is just my channel. I'm a big fan of yours, brother. Let me just say.
Likewise.
And I support you to the end, brother. To the end. We're going to support. Yeah, I want to see this story end well.
Right, it definitely will. And guess what? When I get my big fight, you're the first one I'm interviewing. You get the first exclusive.
Thank you very much, sir. God bless you, man.
You too, champ.
God bless you, brother.
I'll talk to you later.
Yes, man. Peace. All right. So we were able. Shout out to Jason Williams. Shout out to my brother here, Gary Henderson. We got the interview with Lionell Thompson. That's my dude right there, from the Mayweather Boxing Channel, and he broke down a little bit about the business of boxing. He talked a little bit about, again, we got just into little spots of his career. I'm gonna give you all a little bit more background. I'll put it in the community section, a couple things, and even if you want to see some of his fights, the man is skilled. I can tell you that for a fact. I did not know that he sparred Artur Beterbiev, so he knows what Artur Beterbiev is like, and he sparred him for 5 years, ladies and gentlemen. This man has been through everything. When you're talking about a real deal sort of boxer who hasn't really so far, has not as yet gotten his props, Lionell Thompson. I ride with this dude. I've been really appreciating him for the longest while. I'm glad I got to interview him. This is a privilege on my side. Um, and he was talking about the business of boxing, what it's like, and he was explaining certain things about it, and we got a lot of insight into it. Beterbiev, Mr. Joe Smith Jr., he explained that Beterbiev is really strong. He don't call him a weight bully because he can make the weight, and he was saying also that he thinks that's the man that's going to dominate the division. Even though I personally, I still believe that Bevo got certain little tricks up his sleeve, that he could use against Beterbiev, because Beterbiev, as strong as he is and as skilled as he is, you know, I'm interested in seeing what happens when Bevo faces him. That's the fight I want to see. But of course, Anthony is going to step up to the plate and face him next. We'll see how that goes. Lionel been in there. He know what Beterbiev bring to the table. He know that fire in there. That's what he said. He don't want to face harder video. And shout out to Lionel. But I know, if this brother is down 168, y'all in for a treat. In his debut at 168, he knocked down Jose Osoteki and he beat him almost every single round, outboxed him, finessed him. And this guy is much bigger. Osoteki, of course, much bigger. And he did much better job than Andre Durrell and also Caleb Plant did. This is a guy that got mad skills, but just doesn't get the attention and he's been putting in work since 2000, and if I'm not mistaken, 2010 or 2011 or 2009. He's been doing this thing for a while. So shout out to Lionell Thompson, a Christian brother as well in the faith. I wish him nothing but the best, and I also believe that in time he will get his just due, because everybody gets their just due in time if he sticks with it. So we'll see what comes through with him. In the meantime, I'm what you need. You guys can check out my channel. If you like what you see, don't forget you can subscribe. Also donate via PayPal to the channel. We're going to have some other people come on this channel. Hopefully, I can get Demetrius Andrade to come on here. I don't know how that's going to happen, but whenever it happens, it happens. But there are certain boxers out there. Some of them are names that are highly avoided, and this is one of them, Lionell Thompson. If y'all don't know who this guy is and the skills that he brings to the table and the kind of experience he has, like I said before, he's faced a number of guys, including Sergey Kovalev, and he learned from that experience quite a lot. He campaigned at 175. He's now at 168. We're looking forward to more of him. I want to thank Gary Henderson and also Jason Williams for coming through. I definitely am excited about the 168-pound division. We got people in there like Jesse Hart, which he just spoke about, John Ryder, Canelo Alvarez, Caleb Plant, David Benavidez, Anthony Durrell is still in there. I would love to see Lionell Thompson versus Anthony Durrell. Again, these are big names. They probably call for big money. And hopefully something will work out with my brother, because even if it's with the PBC and Al Heyman, no matter what past they had, that he could get, these kinds of fights. Because I'm telling you, man, this brother deserves these kinds of fights. He deserves also, a shot at a title, because I've seen lesser get title shots and win titles. And I think, this brother deserves to get a shot at the title. I don't know if it'll be against Canelo or who it will be in 2, 3 years time, but I just hope he's not one of those Charlie Burleys or one of those guys that just I think of Brian. I think of Juan Lascano. He got shots at the title. At least he got one shot at the title. But my brother here, he never got a shot at the title. Lionel Thompson. And so I just hope that he would get his shot at the title. And I know there are several really good fighters in boxing, very good fighters in boxing, who have not been able to get their shot at titles for whatever reason, and that's just how it falls through the cracks in boxing. And we got to make sure that guys like Demetrius Andre, who's two-time world champion, he gets his shot, and maybe not a Canelo, but some big name. And Lionel Thompson, can you imagine this? Demetrius Andre has never faced a world champion. All the world champions never wanted to face this guy. So all I'm saying is, so they boxed him out. I think of Michael Hunter, how they boxed him out. I think of Terrence Crawford, how he now getting his shot. Devin Haney, he just got his shot. These are avoided fighters, and those are the high-profile ones. Just imagine the others who are again exceptionally skilled, exceptionally gifted, and we as fans, we need to push again for these fighters. Push for Lionel Thompson. Now we know what division he's at, 168. Now we know what his history is about. I gave you all a little bit of his history. I'm telling you, man, he came up tough. Had tough competition. Sometimes he came up just a slightly bit short on the tough competition, but learn from it. And very experienced fighter, stays in shape, keeps on doing what he's doing. And I just want to see this brother, land some bigger fights, man, some bigger names. Now it's about time because he's a veteran of the sport. It's about time this brother, gets a shot at title and so on. And I think we in social media, we as the fans, if we keep on pushing for it, I think this brother is going to get what he deserves. So I just wanted to give a shout out to him. Um, if you guys got any other comments out there, let's keep it going. You know what I mean? Yeah, because again, I agree with you, Jason Williams. A fighter, you know, the A side fighters tend to get full training camps and so on. But one of the things when you're managing yourself is you need to put down boundaries and standards and not bend to it. You know, I think he needs to have a full training camp, 6 to 8 weeks, full training camp, and then go ahead and fight. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to seeing more of Lionel Thompson. I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. Let me just very and just in a synopsis go through some of the opponents that this man has faced. Right. So in his he got experience through the usual first 10 fights. You get some experience. He faced his first undefeated fighter in his eighth fight. He then faced his next undefeated fighter in his 13th fight. Okay, in his 13th fight, he faced Sergey Kovalev, who was 18-0-1. So Sergey Kovalev had 19 fights. He had 13 fights, and he faced Sergey Kovalev. And right after that, he faced the fighter Musachio. He was 18-2-2. Okay, so he's in his 14th fight, and he's fighting guys with 22 fights. Okay, under their belts. In his 15th fight, he faced his second undefeated fighter. His 16th fight, he faced a fighter 21-1. So a guy with 22 fights again. In his 18th fight, he faced pay-per-view, which is Paul Parker. Sorry, in his 17th fight, he faced Hot Rod, was undefeated. He had 15 fights. And then he faced Paul Parker, pay-per-view, who was This is his 18th fight. He was in his Paul Parker was in his 8th fight, it seems, and he's coming off a loss. Um, in his 19th fight, he faced Donovan George, who had he had 32 fights. He was 25, 5-2. He faced Steve Lavelle in his 20th fight, who was 16 fights in. He had 1 loss. Then he faced Earl Newman, who was undefeated. This is his 4th undefeated fighter. Earl Newman, 10-0-1. In his 22nd fight, he faced Edwin Rodriguez, who had 31 fights. He was 29-2. 1 loss to Andrew Ward, 1 loss to, I don't know who the guy was. Edwin Rodriguez, big guy. This was the fight where he underperformed. He talked about it on the Boxing Voice. And then in his 23rd fight, he faced Derek Findley. Derek Findley was a fighter with 52 fights. Okay, he's more a veteran fighter, like a sort of a journeyman fighter, got experience, skills, that kind of thing. In his 24th fight, he faced Scott Sigmund, 34-13, and then in his 25th fight, he steps down into super middleweight for the first time, and he faces Jose Uzcategui, who was 29-3. He had 32 fights. So this dude has been facing guys with a lot of experience. He's faced 4 to 5 undefeated fighters in this whole run. It's just, and that's just records. Of course, when you look at the opponents these guys faced, and then later faced in their careers, it sort of showed their pedigree. Round about where he was at, and I believe he was managed by not Al Heyman. He was managed by with Mayweather Promotions. I forgot what his name is right now. He was managed with him, and Mayweather Promotions was promoting him. And at least he got to the point where he got the Uzcategui fight. He was with Mayweather Promotions all then in 2019. I believe he parted ways with Mayweather Promotions just recently during the COVID, and he's basically managing his own self, and he'll have to work in conjoint as a free agent with other companies. Boxing is an interesting sport, like I said before, and I'm just glad to have spoken with him, hear his point of view, his side of the whole thing. But I can tell you for a fact, this is no dispute. This guy should be up there with the Caleb Plants, should be up there with the David Benavidez, should be up there with the Canelo Alvarez's, with the Jamal Charlos, and so on. Yes, you may see, his record is what 22-5, I believe, 22-5, but he has 27 fights. But 22-5, don't let it fool you. Don't let that fool you. 3 of those 5 losses came at split decision. Okay, and so it could have very easily been 22-2. You know what I'm saying? And remember, this guy, I always believe he fought at a weight above what he would really be or should have been at. To me, he should have been at 168, but he was saying he couldn't make the weight before he didn't have a dietitian to help him make the weight, to get the weight down to 168, but now he does. So that's a great thing, a nutritionist, a dietitian. And so I'm happy for him, and he's training away. He's doing his thing. I'm glad we got the interview with him. You guys, what you need is really happy and privileged to even have gotten this interview with Lionel Thompson. Hopefully we can see and keep on following his career. We might be looking at a future world champion. We may be looking at you never know in this boxing world. So we're gonna watch out and see what happens with him. Thank you for your questions. For the rest of you that may be seeing this stream after the fact that it's come up online, you can always comment, share, and subscribe. And hopefully, I'll be able to talk to EJ Boxing Live, see if he will also, we could have an interview with Lionell Thompson through there as well, and some other social media platforms. So I'll be checking you guys out later. Also, hopefully, some other platforms like Aki Sports TV and so on. We'll also interview him. So we can keep the YouTube community and the Black YouTube community and the white YouTube community and the Asian YouTube community and all the other ethnic backgrounds, the Mexican YouTube community and the YouTube community in period. We could help to, if you are fans of certain fighters, we can help to get these fighters more prominence, you know, so people can get introduced to them, and then hopefully we can help them to get that traction that is necessary for their careers to move forward as well in a positive manner. That's what it's all about. So I'm gonna catch you guys later. I'm what you need. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and may you guys have a blessed week. We'll be coming on here again tomorrow. We're going to talk about another upcoming fight, which is coming up this particular weekend. We'll talk about that as well. So I'm gonna catch you guys later. What you need. Peace.